How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to go over the two trades that I took on QQQ. Both trades were losers. Today was a pretty bad day for me. I sized into losing trades. I took two trades, both of which weren't very great. Pretty much the exact things I was trying to avoid doing, having done similar mistakes yesterday. This week was pretty bad for me overall. I think I need to take this weekend to kind of regroup and revisit some things. But we'll get into those trades in just a second. We're looking at QQQ on the daily time frame. I did clean up my charts a bit, really just focusing on really major levels, swing highs, swing lows, all-time highs, things like that. So we had the all-time high, the previous all-time high at 429.9. We had a level at 428.8 pre-market high. We had this level here at 423.75, we'll call it, or 7 area that we had multiple resistance, multiple support. You can see we held that level of support this morning. We also had yesterday's high and low. That never really came into play though. Those were the relevant levels that we saw today. So if we take a look at the hourly chart, we had made a big move up and after hours kind of bounced around up here. That's where that pre-market high comes from. Then we sold off and retested this 423.7 level. Held that in the morning and had a pretty bullish day overall. We can take a look at initially going into the day, I was looking at a potential hold of this 424 area and continuation up. It was like we made this high, make a higher low, continuation. We did get that. I didn't take that trade right off the open, and I really wish I had. So off the open, we pulled down and tested this area, down all the way to 423, closed with a massive green hammer candle. At that point, I should have felt comfortable to take calls for that higher low situation and continuation of the move upwards. So you see that's the low a day. We ripped from there on out. Didn't take that. Was a little hesitant off the open, so did not take that trade. The first trade that I took was based off of this price action right here. So we made that move up. We started consolidating. I was watching on both the 5 and the 2 minute. I was looking for a breakout to either direction. This candle on the 5 minute was pushing below. It looks like it was trying to break out. Right at the end, it closed within this, and then we opened outside of that range. Now, we didn't open very far outside of the range. We pretty much opened right at that range. But this was my first trade of the day. We can take a look here as well. So this is the price action that we saw here. We were testing that lower bound of that support, not breaking out. But when we opened outside of that area, I grabbed some puts. This was a bad trade, a really bad trade. Reason being, we can take a look at a few things here. We can see that in this area, what do we have? We have 3 consecutive candles forming essentially hammers, right? At that support. Doesn't look too bearish there. So that's the first mistake. We have 3 2-minute closes consecutively, all looking pretty bullish. We also have the 5 minute. The 5 minute, we did not close outside of that pattern. We actually closed within it, right? We tested that low and we pulled up and closed within it. So that's another reason. 5 minute and 2 minute were both confirming that we were holding that support. So taking puts there was a bad idea. I got out when we broke out of this range here. Once we started kind of reconsolidating within this range, I held on to my puts in hopes that we'd break to the downside. Another mistake. So I shouldn't have taken this trade in the first place, and I should have cut my loss before I did. By the time I cut my loss, actually when we were pushing up and testing this 426, because we had rejected off this area before, right? We had rejected off this area before. I grabbed some more puts here. So I doubled down on my position. Then when we broke out here, I was stopped out on the breakout here as we broke out to the upside. So shouldn't have taken the trade in the first place. Didn't have confirmation. Shouldn't have sized into a losing trade. Should have cut my loss at an appropriate time. So all those things were bad. First trade, terrible. Second trade of the day, we had come down. So we had broken out to the upside. We'd come down, failed to retest and hold this level on the 5 minute. And we had, I'll throw it up here. We had the EMA. So apply that. We have the 9 EMA here on the 5 minute. That's what I just threw on there. And we had been holding it the whole way up. So we did come down and close and hold that EMA on the close. And I was watching the 2 minute here. And I was watching for essentially a hold of this area in here. Ignore the EMA on the 2 minute. It's not relevant. The EMA on the 5 minute is what we were looking at. On the 5 minute, we held on the close of the candle at the 9 EMA. And we had some wicking here. And so I took calls here on the retested zone that we held previously and was stopped out on this move down. Why is this a bad trade? I didn't actually have confirmation, right? The only thing that I had, in fact, this is pretty bad, is not confirmation. The only thing that I had is that we held that 9 EMA on the close here. But what we did do is we fell right through that resistance, right? We broke out. We failed to retest and hold it. We closed pretty bearish engulfing on equivalent volume to the move that got us up to that point. This, entering it after this candle printed, would have been good. Why? Because we had held this area before, right? We had tested it, formed that hammer, holding the EMA. That would be a confirmation that we were going to continue, right? Because at this point, we don't have any confirmation. We are in an uptrend. We did look like we had a breakout, but then we have a bearish engulfing. And I think at this point, I needed to wait for further confirmation to confirm that we were going to get a continuation in this uptrend, right? At this point, we could have continued selling off. I mean, we pushed all the way down to 424.8, which is almost $1 from where this previous candle closed. So pushing all the way down here and closing that strongly would have given me confidence to enter calls here. And that would have been a much better move. As you see, we didn't have any drawdown from that point on. We made a new high, broke the pre-market high, had a slight pullback, but continued to make highs from there, higher highs, higher lows, and pretty much retests of previous highs. So you can see like previous high came up, retested it. So we had a classic uptrend. I entered calls too early here, had I was looking for I was looking for the right thing, but I didn't wait for the right confirmation to take the trade. So, you know, looking for a pullback into this area and continuation, that's fine. But taking calls after this is stupid. Taking calls after this would have been good confirmation, right? We would have looked to, you know, set our stop somewhere below the structure that we had here. You know, if we say we bounced from this area, or maybe even include it as low as here, targeting high a day, targeting that pre-market high. So yeah, I think just those were the two trades I took. I only took 2 trades. Both of them I sized up, and that's why the loss was bigger today. Yeah, terrible day for me. Not a great end to the week. Had some losses this week. But it's just kind of confirming. I think it's just going to further adapt my strategy and make sure that I put the right things in place to avoid taking trades similarly. So moving forward, really looking for that strong confirmation on the 5 minute. If I don't have it, I don't even consider it, right? I want to see that strong confirmation either at a level that I'm watching, such as here in the morning, or, you know, on a retest of a previous high, right? We have previous high here, break above it, have a pullback, hammer candles, 2 consecutive hammer candles on the 5 minute, holding that previous high, increasing volume. That's the sort of situation that I'd feel comfortable taking a call. And you can see that we got a good move out of that. Didn't immediately make a new high, eventually got to it. But even still, even if you waited for both these candles to print and you caught calls on the beginning of this candle, you're looking at 428 to 429.3 or so at the high of that. So over $1 move, and you don't even have to catch the very bottom. So really trying to get myself into the habit of being patient, getting that confirmation on a higher time frame, like the 5-minute, before taking those trades. So that pretty much explains the mistakes I made. I was not waiting for that confirmation. I hesitated off the open on a good move, and then I was quick to jump into bad moves. So overall, just a terrible approach, but we'll be back. We'll be back next week. It's frustrating, but the only thing I can do is it's either keep going and learn or quit, and I'm not going to quit. So we'll look to get better from this. Just continue to learn. I know better, and that's the frustrating thing, is I know better than to do what I did. But nonetheless, I did it anyways. So it's a personal thing. I think just something I have to get over and just improve my discipline, improve my execution. That's all I have for you. You can see the rest of the day we had a pretty strong uptrend, set a new all-time high. Sets us into a pretty interesting scenario going into next week, that's for sure. And I'll be here next week to trade live. So Monday through Friday we'll be here. That's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Peace.